Vermeil in Gold. The story begins with our protagonist, Alto, a teenager at the Ortigia Academy of Magic, debating with his professor. Alto is required to summon and create a contract with a familiar at the Ortigia Academy of Magic, or risk receiving a failing grade. Despite having previously failed the summoning spell, he manages to summon a naked demon girl named Vermiel by using the spells contained in an old book he discovered in the library. In exchange for serving him, she smooches him to drain his mana and expresses her compassion for his summoning her from detention. She tries to entertain him, but he rejects her and forces her to wear his sister's dress. He hides her horns and tails when he brings her to school, as is familiar to appear as a human. An act of jealousy, Alto's close friend Lilia confronts him for a tussle. If she manages to win, Vermeil has to avoid Alto, and if he wins, she will comply with his demands. Lilia's familiar, Sylphide, unleashes a potent storm strike, but Vermeil skillfully diverts it using magic to make Lilia so thrilled that she surrenders. Alto instructs Lilia to trust Vermeil. Vermeil persuades Alto that Lilia loves him, but he doesn't believe her. She gives him another kiss and dries him, warning him that if he doesn't, she will magically fade away. When she tries to seduce him, he blocks her. She claims that having sex with him will give her more mana, and she requires it to live. Alto refuses her because he is reluctant and goes to sleep. The students are attacked by a dragon at school the following day. Although it belongs to somebody, the familiar is out of control. Vermeil surprises everybody by killing the dragon with one blow. She's criticized by Alto for drawing attention to herself. Alto's senior, Rex, teases and threatens them with a second dragon familiar, but Vermeil increases Alto's mana, allowing him to defeat them with his gemstone ability. Rex is now in awe and baffled. He's so heartbroken over his loss. Alto declares during lunch that he wants to be the best magician, not just in his school, but in the entire world. The following day, they both, as well as Lilia, go to see their friends, Marks and Cheryl. The headmistress then summons them, excluding Marks, and says that the class representative will be the one who can find a fairy flower in the woods. Marks also joins them in the forest, telling them that he wants to be the class representative as well, so he'll find the flower first. However, a man-eating plant knocks him out during the competition, forcing Cheryl to care for him. The others discover that the flower is guarded by Cerberus, a three-headed giant dog, who appears to be ill. So Lilia uses a magical serum to make herself invisible, so she can pass Cerberus and grab the flower. She needs to remove her clothes because the potion does not affect them. One of Cerberus's heads were perfectly functioning, allowing it to pinpoint Lilia and attack her. So Vermeil pumped Alto up again, and they defeated it. Lilia wins the flower, but she persuades Alto that he should be the one to claim it because he saved her. The invisibility is fading. Her body is now visible to Alto and the others. In her humiliation, she tosses the flowers, which blows away and lands in Cheryl's hand. At the same time, the task timer runs out, so Alto and Lilia applaud her because she is the lucky recipient of the fairy flower, which means she will be the class representative. Vermeil loves modern cuisine, particularly desserts, since they weren't readily available in her time. She overeats desserts and neglects her diet, despite Alto's constant yelling at her to eat a well-balanced diet. Then, at school, while they are both enjoying an ice cream cone, the dragon rider passes by on their dragons, and every student idolizes member Chris. While changing, Cheryl persuades Lilia to tell Alto how she feels, but Lilia rejects her, saying that they are close buddies. The scene changes, and Vermeil can be seen chasing Alto into the boys' dressing room, where he screams at her to stay outside. Later at night, Vermeil breaks into Alto's shower at home and makes another attempt to lure him. He tries to deny her, but she begs, starting that she requires his mana or she will die, and they begin to smooch. As the scene changes, we see Chris beating up Rex and kicking him out of the Dragon Riders Club for surrendering to Alto and for having a dinosaur as the scene changes, we see Chris beating up Rex and kicking him out of the Dragon Riders Club. For surrendering to Alto, he is assaulted so severely that he needs to check into a hospital. When Alto gets to know what happened, he becomes furious and demands Chris to be in a duel. All of Alto's friends caution him against entering the battlefield because Chris is very powerful, but he continues to fight away. Chris is also there with her familiar dragon. Alto's mana is amplified by Vermeil, but Chris's fire curses are sufficiently strong to break Alto's crystals and affect Vermeil when she prevents them. But Chris's fire curses are sufficiently strong to break Alto's crystals and affect Vermeil when she's preventing them. They strike her once more with great strength, but Chris begins to rise into the sky on her dragon's back and proclaims that dragons are the ultimate creatures and that all other organisms are inadequate. Vermeil pumps up Alto once more, and he builds up a massive crystal structure and begins to fly as well. When they got close to Chris in the sky, Alto lashes out at her and compels her to give up by putting his crystals on her neck. All of the colleagues, including Lilia, are overjoyed that a pupil has defeated the boss of the Dragon Riders. All hands go up for Alto and Vermeil. Professor Obsidian, his teacher, also applauds him, but advises him not to flaunt his abilities in front of everyone. The battle has now been won by Alto and Vermeil. As a result of his decisive victory, Alto gains popularity among all students. Chris later apologizes to Rex and wrapped up her duties, because it was her law that anyone who loses a battle must complete all duties. Rex grabs the mop away from her and tells her she is his senior, and he doesn't like her to do these cleaning chores in front of him. At home, Vermeil tries to entrap Alto once more, but tells her that she shouldn't kiss anyone unless she truly loves them. He then goes to sleep after denying her. Alto, who is still confused, asks Obsidian the following day about the relationship between humans and demons, to which he responds that demons only desire humans for their mana. Over dinner that night, Alto addresses Vermeil and claims that she only desires him because she wants his mana, but she refutes this and shows her innocence by smooching him without rinsing his mana. Emma Abelin, a second grader, is lured into the library by Sir Obsidian, who then injects her with a poison that renders her frozen in ice. Emma is then rescued by Elena, but remains in a catatonic state, and the student council debates the fact that she is the fourth student to be assaulted. Alto is then seen writing something down on paper. Vermeil inquires as to his activities, to which he responds that the class has been given a task to write down about their familiars. She strips down and has also informed her that he needs to estimate her body. Alto hesitantly takes Vermeil's body measurements. Lilia, who had jealousy for both of them, seeks Cheryl's help in spying on them. She takes the invisibility potion and gives Cheryl her outfit. She enters their room quietly, but Vermeil has already worn her dress, so she doesn't observe anything odd and goes back. Alto lists Vermeil's love of sweets on his familiar's fact sheet, but Vermeil adds without letting him know that she also loves Alto more than sweets. Then, a flashback shows Rex in his second year attempting to conjure his familiar dinosaur from an egg. Chris helps him hatch the egg because he thought it was a dragon egg. While talking to each other at school, Alto and Vermeil are approached by Rex's brother. He begs for their assistance. He leads them to Rex, where they witness Rex assaulting Chris. Chris's body is transforming into a hybrid, enabling him to cast fire. As Rex's brother, Alto and Vermeil show up. Rex expresses his desire for vengeance on Alto, but the student council president, Elena, appears and smashes Rex and his dinosaur down with her sword. Vermeil informs Alto that she is not feeling well and is going to her room to nap, while Alto remains in school and continues his exam preparations. Lilia wants to spend time with Alto alone, so she takes him to her room. Vermeil runs into Obsidian as she makes her way to her room and informs him that she is aware he is the one targeting students. She advises him to stop and cautions him that if he hurts Alto, she will murder him. Obsidian suddenly administers her with a painful injection that ultimately causes her to expunge evil energy. Elena rushes to assist her, but she is stopped by an evil spirit creature summoned by Obsidian. Vermeil transforms into a catastrophic demon that is her true self. Alto and Lilia also approach the scene. Alto screams at the professor, asking him what he is doing with her. Obsidian mocks him, declaring that he is now Vermeil's greater master, and cautions Alto to stay away from this matter if he wishes to live longer. Elena is still there, battling the continually reviving monsters Obsidian created. Obsidian wraps a magic chain around Vermeil and uses it to control her. Then, Obsidian reveals that it was he who attacked students and tried to turn them into evil spirits by injecting them with potions of a demonic nature. He adds that he is relieved that he now has a true demon. Meanwhile, Vermeil shatters the chain and rushes towards Obsidian to kill him, but Alto appears in front of him to save him from Vermeil's attack. She accidentally strikes Alto with her claws, and he passes away instantly. Lilia begins to cry because Alto has died. Then, Vermeil returns to her former form and employs magic to bring Alto back to life. Obsidian freaks out, saying that demons shouldn't be able to raise the dead. After that, he injects the evil potion into his body, transforming into a disgusting demon. He makes death threats against everyone, but is quickly defeated by Vermeil. He tries to run away, but Chris shoots him. Elena's opponent vanishes, but makes a threat to come back. Obsidian is then imprisoned for all his crimes. Later, when Alto notices Vermeil is depressed, he asks her why she is depressed, when he's still alive and safe. Vermeil explains to Alto that she connected their lives by granting her heart in order to resurrect them. Thus, if either of them pass away, the other will as well. Alto breaks down in tears and becomes upset with her for what she has done. She says she had no choice but to do so, because there is no other way to resurrect him. Vermeil informs Alto that her monstrous form is her pure state, which is extremely dangerous. She claims that she would leave him because she would be a serious risk to anyone. After hearing this, Alto kisses her on the lips and tells her that he doesn't care if she is